Welcome for today's lesson. In the previous lesson, we looked at the scientific method, and we saw how information is collected. We saw that there are two ways in which information, or two data processes for collecting data. One of them was qualitative data collection, and the other one was quantitative data collection. Today, we will first of all look at the scientific method. We will be looking at the scientific method. The scientific method has 6 key elements. It has 6 key elements, or can be divided into six main sections. It can be divided into 6 main sections, as we will be seeing as we go through. The first section of it is question, and the next is hypothesis. So the question, you pose a question. The question, after posing the question will ask about what you want to find out. Then you will create a statement of hypothesis, which of course you will need experiment in order for you to come up with the correct results. After that, you will observe it, and then the observation, you will observe it, There are 6 main steps. Experiment. In the observation, which is the statement of knowledge gained through the sense or through the use of scientific equipment, then after observing, you will end up with going through with other scientists to analyze what you came up with, the results of the experiment, and maybe make predictions. This will go through a panel of scientists who will draw conclusions and come up with the idea. Maybe they will refute your observations, or apart from refuting it, they may also accept it. If they accept what you came up with, then we will regard your research being, or your scientific method being correct. But it will all depend on the observation of the panel of the peer scientists, or during the peer review. If they accept it, then it will be recorded in the journal of scientific journal, and it will be recognized throughout the world. If it is refuted, there is no problem. Still, what you have collected will be gathered and will be kept for future references. For example, after drawing conclusions, the same information that you left could lead to the posing of another question. It will lead to the posing of another question. From here, the process would begin again. Then we will come up with a hypothesis. Then the hypothesis would go through experiment, then through observation, analysis, and conclusion again. So this is what we regard as the scientific method. But there is no definite or specific standing out that we can say that, for example, after conclusion, then we must go back to question. We maybe, after drawing conclusions, we can come up with hypothesis and proceed with the experiment and observation, analysis, and draw conclusion, or we may go back and redo the experiment again. That is it. That means that as we go back as scientists, we only go back to clear out any misconception or any problems that had come up during the investigation. After that, in the next episode, we will be looking at scientific thinking and process, but for now, we will stop for this one here. Welcome back. The next session, we are going to look at scientific thinking as previously and processes. In this case, we will look at how a theory is explained, how a scientific theory is explained. So whether the results support the existing theory, whether the results support the existing theory or disagree with the earlier researches, they are often used as starting point for new questions, as we have seen earlier. Then when data do not support a hypothesis, it is rejected. If the data does not support the hypothesis, it is rejected. But these data are still useful because they often lead to new hypotheses. Next thing that we are going to look at is the theory. A theory explains a wide range of observation. A theory explains a wide range of observations. In this case, first we need to define what is a theory. So the first question that we will pose is, what is a theory? So a theory explains a wide range of observation. A theory explains a wide range of observation. Usually, the word theory is imagined to be true. So we say usually a word theory in everyday conversation means speculation. So in everyday conversation, a theory means a speculation. It means a speculation or something that is imagined, or something that is imagined. Or something that is imagined to be true, But in scientific theory, this is not how we understand theory in science. For in science, a theory is a proposed explanation. So in science, a theory is a proposed explanation It is a proposed explanation. It is explanation for a wide range of observations. For a wide range of observations. For a wide range of observations and experimental results that is supported and experimental results that is supported that is supported by a wide range of evidence. So in this case, we are saying here that a scientific theory is very different from how we regard theory in our day-to-day conversation. We will take an example, for example, of a theory that is scientific. So one of the theories that is widely known, is the theory of Darwin's theory of evolution. Darwin's theory of evolution. So in this theory, it is very evident that scientists have come up to believe or to conclude that the theory still stands up to today. But it doesn't mean that a theory cannot change. A theory, in fact, can change if there is enough experiments are carried out to refute this theory. So if a theory is refuted, if a theory is refuted due to modern observations and experiments, so we are saying if a theory is refuted due to modern observations and experiment, then it is just a normal thing that can happen in a scientific world. So in contrast, a scientific law describes a truth. A scientific law describes the truth. So another thing here that we need to learn about is a scientific law. A scientific law. So unlike the theory, which we have said is just a proposed explanation for a wide range of observations and experimental results that is supported by a wide range of evidence, which eventually, of course, the theory may be broadly accepted by a scientific community. In contrast, scientific law describes a truth. It describes a truth. Scientific law describes a truth. Describes a truth that is valid everywhere in the universe. Is valid everywhere in the universe. Valid everywhere in the universe. For example, the law of conservation of energy. 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 So the law of conservation of energy states that energy may change form. Energy may change form, but it cannot be created. May change form, but it cannot be created or destroyed. It cannot be created or destroyed. So it is very clear here, or evident, that a law is normally, as I have said, a scientific law is normally a truth. It's normally a truth. That is, there is no way someone can come up with something different from this. And if you came up with something different, then your argument will be refuted, because this has been proved to be the truth, and the truth will always remain the truth. We have many other laws, like, theories that we know. For example, the germ theory of diseases, the germ theory of diseases. We have apart from this, we have many other theories that scientists have come up with. Prior to the discovery, or prior to the discovery of viruses and prions, scientists, or the community of the scientists, had definitely stuck on the germ theory of diseases, that all diseases are caused by living microorganisms that can be maybe multiplied or made to reproduce in the laboratory. But with the discovery of viruses and prions, the germ theory of disease, which does not, these two do not fit, they don't fit the germ theory of diseases. The germ theory of diseases, they don't fit in the germ theory of diseases. But even though the two which we can are the two which are, why don't they fit in the theory? Basically, they don't fit because viruses and prions are non-living. But still the theory is used by scientists. Still the theory is used by scientists continually as up to today. So we will stop here for this video. Then we will go to the next video, where we will be talking about biology's tools and technology.